Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to Woodland Pools. We are here at the Cardano Summit 2023, finally getting to sit down in person with Ashish from the Strica team, legend in the Cardano ecosystem. So glad to sit down with you.
I'm so glad to meet with you as well.
Yeah, it's so we've now been working together for probably almost 2 years at this point.
2 years, yes.
Starting with, like, I did a video on Cardanoscan.
Cardanoscan upgrades. Thank you so much for helping us, spreading the word about the new features.
Yeah, and you guys have done fantastic work. And so then from there, I think you reached out when that video came out and you were just about to launch the Typhon Wallet, or Typhon had just come out.
Yes.
And we did some work on that. And actually it was funny, like when I did the series of videos, we talked, and then you were like, hey man, I think you missed these other really cool things that we were doing. And so then I did like another whole video on just like the 5 best features for the Typhon Wallet, and I'll link that down below. These guys are doing really great work, and Cardanoscan, which everyone has used, and for the Typhon Wallet, there's that 5 features video is just so cool, and it's one of the things that you guys for a long time have done really good work in, not just like the user experience of like the wallet, but a nice balance of like an easy to use wallet,
yes,
but that also has like really powerful features for those power users that want to use it.
Yes, exactly. There was the goal for building Typhon Wallet was exactly the same. We actually wanted to build a wallet that's very easy for new users to join the ecosystem, and as well as give them as many features as possible that is possible on Cardano. And one of the main features that we later released was the transaction chaining.
Yep.
And till date, there's a feature that's only Typhon Wallet has. That you don't have to wait for your transactions to complete before you want to do a new transaction. That's like a very UX experience that we are giving to the users. So you can, like, if you're swapping on a DEX or purchasing NFTs, you don't have to wait for your NFT purchase to go through before you want to buy a new NFT. So you can just continue to use your wallet without waiting for it. Yeah,
and it's one of those things that we've talked about a few times in the channel that is like the power of UTxO model, that you can do, the deterministic power of the UTxO model, that you can do that kind of stuff. And what I love about that is that you guys are taking something that is under the hood a very like low-level detail of how UTxOs work, but then using that to present a very user-friendly feature to users. They have no idea that's how it's working, but it makes it so easy that they can just fire off a bunch of transactions back to back,
exactly,
and it all just kind of like works,
Yes. So yeah, exactly as you said. So how it works is if user is spending a transaction, it actually generates new UTxOs behind the scenes, and those are sitting in the mempool. So you cannot use them until you know about them, and that's the beauty that we have. So we know those UTxOs. Also, if user is receiving a transaction from some other wallet like Eternal, our infrastructure still knows that there's a receiving transaction for the user, and we are able to use those UTxOs as well. So there's never a breaking interruption between you do the transactions, and because of the UTxO magic, as you mentioned, we also have this sending transactions to multiple users. So you can do like multi-recipient transactions. So you can keep adding more and more addresses. So you can spend 8 to 5 different addresses, and you pay for only one transaction fees. That's also one of the magic.
Yeah, that's awesome. And so with that, we've talked about all these things that the Strica team does. So all this falls under like the Strica umbrella. Maybe let's take a step back, and why don't you like sort of talk us through what are all the different products that you guys are working on and the things that Strica does, so people can just be aware of it.
So Strica actually started a bit later. Once we were done with once we released Cardanoscan.
Okay.
So Cardanoscan was the first product that we actually worked on. When the Shelly was launched on Cardano, we felt a need for an explorer, and while we were working for a full-time job, we actually spent time part-time, and we worked overnights to build Cardanoscan, because we really wanted to build an explorer that's easy to use for people and shows all the different smaller details, deep down details of the network. And through the love of the community, the Cardanoscan Explorer was used by so many people that we could actually get out of our full-time jobs, and then we registered a company, Strica, and under that we as a team started building more products. So after Cardanoscan, we also felt like a need for a wallet, so we built a Typhon Wallet, and it was a very good coincidence that at the same time we thought of building a wallet, so many other teams also were building wallets like Eternal. So we both wallets were actually launched around at the same time.
Right.
So that's how Typhon Wallet was also was born. And now we are building Flac Finance, which is which is more like a centralized platform focused for Indian consumers, for everyday people to buy and sell crypto assets, swap crypto assets, and do lending and borrowing. So yeah, that's exactly what we are doing right now.
Well, and the other thing too that you guys also worked on that we covered in the channel was you also did the user interface layer for the Ledger Live integration as well, right?
Yeah. Yes. So through our work of Typhon Wallet, ambassadors from CF team and Ledger team approached us and see if we could help them do the integration for Ledger Live. So yeah, so our team also worked on the transactions and the token integration for Ledger Live as a phase one, and we also provided them the infrastructure for supporting the Cardano on Ledger Live. So once that was completed, the community also extended help through Catalyst proposal to fund the work for the staking integration as well for Ledger Live. So yeah, we did 2 projects so far with Ledger Live, which is the initial integration and also the staking integration. And we continue to support and maintain the integration so people can continue to use the feature.
Yeah, that's awesome, because like for a lot of people, like it's nice to be able to use something like Typhon or Eternal or whatever else, but for many users, so when they plug in their ledger and they open up Ledger Live, they don't even think to like look outside of that, So the fact that now, so again, for those that might not know, if you have like a ledger, when you open up Ledger Live, the fact that you can now manage your Cardano transactions and send and receive and even delegate to a stake pool from Ledger Live, that was all the work that Ashish and the Strica team were doing.
Yep.
So it's really, really cool.
Thank you.
The other thing too that now with Typhon that you recently came out with that I was just like thought was the coolest thing was these warp transactions.
Warp transactions.
Where like where you're kind of like having the idea of like you have UTxOs from both wallets, and then they can do a multi-signature and they both sign it.
Sign them together and then you split them again.
So cool. That's such a cool concept.
Yep.
And so for those that don't know, it's the idea that like you can send from wallet A to wallet B. If you're sending an NFT, previously you had to include the min ADA to send along with it, right? But now with this, if the receiver in the transaction already presents it, then they just cover it. So the sender just pays the fee and that's it.
Exactly.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it's a pretty neat feature. It was a pretty simple to implement, but actually the difficulty was building the user experience so that people don't feel that it's too complicated to process, and do such transactions.
Yeah.
This sort of functionality was actually possible to be built on Cardano from the day one.
Right.
But it's all about prioritizing our work, because we have to spend time on Cardanoscan and Typhon Wallet, Flac Finance, and then I'm like, okay, now I think it's time we let's focus on building a user experience, because building such a feature is very easy. It was just the user experience.
Right.
So we did spend time and built out all the features so that it's pretty simple, as Guillermo said. So if I'm spending NFT to somebody, I have to spend 1.5 something ADA to the receiver. Now Typhon Wallet, what it does is smartly actually retrieves the UTxOs from the receiver and uses that balance it's like that's why I called it warp, because the NFT just goes from this wallet to that wallet without switching any ADA balance, and then the transaction gets signed by both the parties, and you both receive the remaining ADA and one receives the NFT.
That's so clever. So how did you guys even come up with that? Because it is, that's the thing about how the determinism of UTxO works, is that some of these things are very easy and obvious after the fact, but thinking of them can be kind of like difficult, and like that is like, in my mind, advanced UTxO management to a degree that I'd not seen before. So like, how did that even occur to you? Yeah,
it was too much. As I said, it's again actually comes down to user experience,
right?
Because it's easy to build a transaction and get it signed, but it's also very difficult to maintain, because imagine if I'm spending NFT to you and you end up spending your UTxO and I wouldn't know about it.
Right, the one that we were planning on using together.
Exactly. So that's what we do. So we just try to, both the receiver and the sender actually knows that there's a warp transaction, and so we do the maintain that the UTxOs are not used from both the wallets.
That makes sense. So exactly, because since Typhon is the one managing all of that, you can say, of all the UTxOs on both sides, these are reserved for that warp transaction.
Exactly.
So if I'm spending anything else, I kind of go on all these, but don't touch those.
Exactly. And it also was very important that the user knows that what's happening. So if you're having a pending WAP transaction, and if it's using, say, a 10 ADA UTxO from your wallet, on your dashboard, you will be able to see that 10 ADA has been blocked by a pending WAP transaction.
Sure,
That's pretty easy and very informative. So if you are really in hurry to use that balance, you could just go and cancel your WAP transaction, and the UTxO gets released right away. And also know that it's not a blocking that's done from our infrastructure, but it's just inside your wallet. We don't keep anything. We don't have any information about what UTxO is to be blocked. It's just the wallet that knows about it. Front-end wallet.
So with that, right, and it is interesting to me because you're saying like, oh yeah, there's this obvious thing that we wanted to build for a long time, and then it came out and it just blew my mind. That was the coolest thing. Do you have any other like any interesting thoughts like that on things that you've been thinking about that you're looking forward to building in the future, whether it's with like UTxOs or whatever else, but like any other like sort of cool Cardano like layer 1 features like that you've been thinking about that you want to implement?
We do have plan to actually build a multi-signature wallet.
Sure.
Which is being long requested by the community.
Right.
But it's just the priorities. We do have to prioritize a lot of things. There's also one more Typhon Wallet that we need to build. Mobile app, Typhon Wallet mobile app. That's also something we need to build. But let me talk about the multi-signature wallet. There's lots of misconceptions when we talk about multi-signature wallets. Because as I said, the focus from day one is the user experience. If you're building a multi-signature wallet today, it's pretty easy. We just build it out, and you'd have to do lots of things manually. But if you want to build a multi-signature wallet inside Typhon Wallet, then we want people to be rest assured that it's as easy as it can be. Right. So if you are using a multi-signature wallet, the end user wouldn't have to worry about this is a multi-signature wallet. I need to do this. I need to do that. Or how do I manage the signatures? And if what we do have the plans of building multi-signature wallet inside Typhon Wallet. Such a way that you wouldn't ever notice that it's a multi-signature wallet, and you would be able to use it with the dApps. You would be able to use it, to do normal transactions, do staking, also do, retrieve your staking rewards inside the same wallet. It's going to act like a normal your wallet, but it's just going to be a multi-signature that, beautifully it's going to require signatures from the parties involved. But yeah, so looking forward to that in the near future.
So that's interesting because when you mentioned that, so first of all, that's great. So if I'm understanding correctly, the implementation of it that you're suggesting, it would be like, let's say you and I, we have some funds that we manage together, and then we want to make it such that for any of those funds to be moved or sent or whatever else, that anything corresponding to that wallet, we would both need to sign for that to go. Is that the idea?
That's correct. And the idea is there's going to be 3 wallets. So if we two have a joint wallet, then what's going to happen is you have a Typhon wallet. I'm going to have a Typhon wallet with me. And then either one of us, so 2 of us can also have the multi-signature wallet with us. So either of us can initiate a transaction. And if you have used the WAP transaction, you'd see that it literally goes ahead and asks you like, hey, you have a pending WAP transaction, and do you want to sign it or you want to cancel it? Similarly with the multi-signature wallet, if somebody has initiated a transaction, if I say like, I want to spend 500 ADA for here, and then you would receive a notification like, there's a pending multi-signature transaction. If you say yes to it, and the transaction goes ahead. As simple as that.
That's so. I have so many questions. Okay, so with that, I know that Charles has talked a few times about multi-sig on layer 1. So I was under the impression that, that's interesting because you've always, to your point, have always been able to do a thing where a transaction construction where you just put required signatories, and then that's it. Now you require more than one signature. But for a multi-signature wallet, how are you doing that under the hood? Is it like, are you basically just doing like a multi-sig like script address?
That's correct. So
nice.
That's correct.
Oh, that's so cool. So just to clarify for you, so even though it looks like it's just a wallet, you're actually under the hood. It's an on-chain validator.
Yes.
It's a smart contract, an on-chain validator that is a very simple validator. That it requires no special conditions, but it requires 2 signatures every time.
Exactly.
That's so cool.
And
how clever. That's so cool.
And the magic about it is that you could actually define, you could actually build a multi-signature wallet that says that there are 7 parties involved in this account, and then you want
at least 3 of them.
4 signatures.
Oh, that's so cool. That's so cool. And then the other thing too is, I'm sure you probably already thought about this, but then you can also, if you wanted, you could change that threshold. You could change who the signatories are.
Yes.
Are you planning on doing that kind of thing?
Exactly.
So if we're a family, right, and you could do like, and like someone marries in, and you're like, okay, well now we want to like add this person to the list of potential people.
Yeah. So
and then they get divorced, you take it back off again, and you can like, and you could change that all. And are you gonna do that with like a datum, like it's part of like a thing? Or?
No, exactly. So that's configurable, but that's going to be a bit more advanced.
Right.
But the initial one would be very simple. That once you define a wallet, that's going to be fixed for 4 of the 7 keys. You cannot change them.
Right.
But if you want to change them, you can actually easily create a new wallet. As you suggested, if there's a new member, you can create a new wallet, and all parties from the first wallet can transfer the funds to the new one.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, that would be an like workaround for now for upgradability. But what you said is also possible, but that's something probably in the future.
Yeah, see, you haven't even released it yet, and I'm already giving you a list of requests for like, man, that's so cool. What a great idea. And then since you're doing it in that way, unless I'm missing something, because it's just signatories and it is an on-chain signature submission transaction, then all kinds of wallets and signatures would work from the start. Like it would immediately support software and hardware signatures, right?
That's correct. Exactly. That's right.
That's so cool.
That's the beauty. That's the beauty. We want to make it as easy as possible.
I love that. That's so cool. Good for you, man. Yeah. So, yeah, you guys have just been doing really great work for a while. Yeah, there's so much stuff that we can talk about, but I don't want to like go forever. So, what are you most excited about of all the projects you guys have coming out? What are you most excited about moving forward?
So right now we have actually a few things in focus. One is Flac Finance. Of course, we are. If you know about Flac Finance, it's actually a product to onboard everyday people on chain. It's a centralized product. Actually, it's actually focused for the Indian consumers, so that they can buy cryptocurrencies, sell cryptocurrencies, and also do payments, to their friends and family. That's something that we're building. There's a testnet already running on that. Apart from that, we are actually planning to add support for Voltaire features, which is very exciting.
For what?
Voltaire on Cardano, the governance.
Oh, okay, sure, yeah.
So that's something very exciting because there's so many magical things that you can do with Voltaire. Registering yourself as a DRAP, voting for the DRAPs, delegating your voting power, and I'm like, there's so much things to be done. Apart from what you can do with Typhon Wallet, there's also so many things that we need to add on Cardanoscan because transparency is important. So we actually are focusing on building features out on Cardanoscan so that you can track in and out of everything what's happening regarding Voltaire.
And that's one of those things where, like, with Cardanoscan, I love, you guys have just done such a good job from a user experience standpoint.
Thank you.
Because one of the things that I love about Cardanoscan when you did that V2 launch of Cardanoscan was
Summaries.
just oh man, it's so good. It's just so good. Like, because if you're like, now at this point now, I work with UTxO so much that I can like look at them and kind of see, but yeah, you have like for a very simple transaction, you may have like a bunch of entries of this on both sides, and you're like, what the hell's going on here? You know what I mean? And so like, I remember when I first got into Cardano being like, look, I just want to know like how much went from this wallet to this wallet.
Yes.
And it seems it's an obvious thing.
It was obvious, yeah.
And when you guys added that to Cardanoscan, that was so cool. Yeah, that was really, really nicely done. So
but it's actually it actually uses the staking part of an address to figure out that if they are the same wallet.
Right.
So you need to be very careful when you know what you're doing, because for normal users, like normal wallet users like Typhon, Eternal, and people like that, they would have all the correct addresses. Their wallets would always match. But then there are also people who work with CLI wallets, programmed wallets. They might have addresses with mangled addresses, like you have your payment keys from your wallet, but the staking keys from some other wallets. But Cardanoscan, of course, wouldn't be able to know that. Only your wallet knows. So sometimes you would see such summary that might not be so accurate.
Oh, sure.
But most of the times it's obviously going to be accurate because there are normal transactions all the time, and this programmed and mangled addresses are very not so common on chain.
Nice. Cool. Well, so we're here at the Summit 2023, and then hopefully we can sit down and do this again in 2024. And so, where would you hope to see for Strica as a team, or maybe Typhon or one of these other ones? Like, what are some of the milestones that you hope to be able to look back on a year from now when we sit down again next year?
So many things we are actually there's some new products that also we are working on. Like in a nutshell, basically what we want to do is make developer tools. That's what we are focusing on slowly. Recently, we have also open sourced the Ouroboros networking library that people can utilize to build their own products. The same library that we use to build Typhon Wallet, Cardanoscan.
Typhon.js, right?
Typhon.js is for Typhon Wallet. There's also Ouroboros network.js.
Nice.
Those libraries are, they help you communicate with the node directly. So basically what I mean is, we are going to build so many such tools for developers. We want this ecosystem to grow, and the only way the ecosystem is going to grow is having as many developer tools available as possible. That's what we are lacking. We do have so many things, but we need more and more. Yeah. So yeah, that's the focus. We are also building a Cardanoscan API service. That's going to help so many new developers, who do not want to spend time building their own infrastructure. They might be able to use this service and do, some magic.
That's so cool, and it's so funny. Like, people on the channel at this point are probably so tired of hearing me say this, but I say it all the time. Where it's like, yes, we all want to have like mass onboarding of consumers. Yeah. But the only way you ever get mass onboarding of consumers is if you first have a mass onboarding of developers who can build things that consumers want to consume.
Exactly.
You have to make the developer experience easier, so that you can make things that are worth using.
Exactly. And this is exactly what I talk about when I meet people. I always tell them, what we lack is the developer ecosystem. We need devs. We need devs. Devs are the first-class citizen of a chain.
Yeah.
There are no normal users using any chain as of now. It's all developers, either pretty old developers or new developers. There's people who are come in and doing so many things, right? If we have developers, we're going to have users on chain. So yeah, I mean, we need to focus on building dev tools, bring more developers on chain so that we get more users on chain.
Yeah, and this is why I love all of these infrastructure projects, because this is like, I think where we're at, where we need to like get these things out and get our foundations really, really strong, and then we can like continue like building some of these really good projects.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, Ashish, it has been so good chatting with you, and just like such an absolute pleasure to finally meet you in person. Like I said, we've been chatting for so long. This is my favorite thing about these conferences, is being able to finally like spend some time together and whatever else. But anyway, so before we go, do you have any last thoughts for anybody that's watching or they want to find out more about either Flac or Strica or anything else?
Yep. So please do join our Discord server. We recently created a Strica community Discord where we are actively available. If you are a developer, if you are a user, if you have any queries regarding Cardano, any developer queries, please do hop on and ask questions, and we are always there to help you.
Sweet, thank you so much. If you guys have any questions for the Strica team, let me know in the comments down below. And if nothing else, we'll see you next week. Thanks.
Hi.